Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching News Now with me, Sumita Karir. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll be bringing you top updates from all that's happening domestically and globally. But let's begin with tracking the markets first, global markets. While the U.S. futures, they look steady ahead of key inflation April reading. Overnight, the Wall Street ended positively with the Dow Jones climbing to a fresh record high as easing oil prices boosted sentiment. The index gained 0.3%, while S&P 500 edged up marginally to another record close. Now, the Nasdaq also ended slightly higher. European stocks, meanwhile, also edged higher as investors assess the latest developments in Iran. The pan-European stock 600 that inched up 0.1%. Now, as far as the Asian markets are concerned, well, Asian stock markets are retreating. We're seeing a bunch of them in the red as fresh U.S. military strikes on Iran that has dampened recent investor optimism over a near-term peace agreement. In fact, if you were to take checks as far as the Asian stock markets are concerned, we are seeing currently the Nikkei, of course, in the red. It's down by over 800 points in trade. The Shanghai index is down by over 31 points in trade. The Kospi, while over 200 points in trade, it is very well reaching that mark of taking cuts of almost 250 points. So, of course, these are some of the key markets. In fact, if we look at the Taiwanese market, well, that is down by over 700 points in trade. So, of course, it's a sea of red as far as the Asian markets are concerned. In fact, you can see some of those on your television screens, the Shanghai, Hang Seng and Nikkei, all of them currently trading in the red because investor sentiment has dampened that there could be a deal between the United States and Iran as far as the West Asia war is concerned. So on that note, let's also take a look at how the commodities markets are faring. Well, oil prices are jumping sharply after fresh U.S. strikes in Iran. They have reignited concerns over supply disruptions once again. So Brent crude has surged over 3% to $97 per barrel, slightly over that, while WTI crude, it has gained over 3.5% to over $91 per barrel. Of course, these were getting some gains a couple of hours back when Iran stated that they have an MOU in place. And of course, Iranian state media, they released details of that MOU. But of course, that has been negated by the White House and fresh strikes, they continue to go on. Now, if we take a look at gold prices, they have fallen to nearly a 2-month low. That's pressured by expectations of a tighter monetary policy amidst persistent inflation concerns and continued Iran uncertainty. Meanwhile, the U.S. Treasury yields have edged lower with the benchmark 10-year yield easing to 4.48%, while the dollar holding firm near a one-week high. And that's a snapshot of all of these overnight moves that we're currently talking about. The WIX, the 10-year yield, and of course the dollar index, all of those moves right there on your television screens. Now, since we're talking